150 break, maybe even, I mean, I don't want to take 186, but yeah, 185, 185.50. I think you could even get back out. Even if it comes back to 185, VWAP will be at 184, 184.50 at that point. So I think it's $1 worth of downside there to possibly get going if the market likes it. We've seen that before on kind of random stories with Tesla. It can definitely get going. So we'll see. Starting to go now. We'll see if those imbalances come buy side. But if they do, you probably break that 185.50 right off the jump anyways. So that's going to be a good level. I look to go long 185.50, and it's not on the sticky note, but I missed it.
All right, DJT, 2 days in a row here, back higher. What a buy that was at the open yesterday. $30 up to 37 now. Better part of 10, almost 11% here in the pre-market on top of that move yesterday. There's nothing new. Just catching this bid after that equity raise the end of last week.
Yeah, exactly it. I mean, I think personally, I just think it's, you know, a running up in anticipation of the first debate, which is on Thursday. So we'll have to keep an eye on DJT until that time. But yeah, as Brendo mentioned, they raised some money. They had some money unlocked vis-a-vis the SEC, and that had this thing moving. But I really think that the debate is going to be the number one.
Yeah, got to go back to the beginning of the month here to find some levels to look at now, guys, for DJT.
Yeah, I have a suspicion that you could get a sell event on the debate, but we'll see what the stock could do it before. So I don't want to, you know, just automatically assume you're going to be up around this 40 to 42 level, which is, you know, the way you have to go back to, as Brendan mentioned, before you find a little something. I've paid for locates today, so if you do see a failure at 42, like it pops up there, tries to break out, and then flushes, like anywhere in this, like in this range, like 42 into 44, like if it's failing in that range, I think that's the spot where I would look for shorts. I don't love dip buys in this. When I sat down, I was really thinking, okay, well, it's got to be 33 to base something off of. And like maybe there's this 36 level, but you know, with CCL going, we're probably going to be in some Rivian. You throw in the chip names, and maybe ARM makes a break. I don't know that I like the local level on DJT. If it starts trending to the upside, there's always a place to join it a little bit later on in the session, as we've always able to be found. So the 33 level, I think that would be a good spot. If somehow it gets down there, I could look for a bid on DJT, but it's not seeming that likely, up 10%.
All right, so here comes NVIDIA back in. We do get those imbalances, about $1 million or so to sell with already paired off 3. So it's going to come about $3.5 million or so to sell here off the open. So there's NVIDIA right now with that candle to the downside. So just if you guys are watching, you're like, hey, what just happened with NVIDIA? Well, this is what happened. It's your market on open imbalances. And it also sends Apple to the downside as well right there. So then you can see Apple just drifting from 210 down to 209.40s where we are right now. iBit, again, I don't really worry about this because it's just going to follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin doesn't care about these imbalances. Walmart, Snapchat, nah. So the big ones are right here. There's only really 2 on here. We do have CCL. I'm trying to get long. I told you off that 710, 713 break or so. But yeah, there's NVIDIA downside. Not huge, right? It did 400 million, 500 million shares yesterday. I have to double check it. But that's not a big number off the open, so I'm not worried about it. But it does show that there's sell pressure. Like, why is it not a buy? And then Apple as well, right? So there's sell pressure in both of these names. And I mean, there's been a lot of people saying, oh, it's crazy to try to go short again on this name, but we made a lot of money short yesterday, and I just want to try it again. So, and I feel justified a little bit now because we were talking about that short. It's just, you don't know if what's coming buy or sell, and it still could not work. So we'll wait for that one to come in, and then the other trade, I know Neil's in this right now, but Carnival's just dancing. So you got to wait for me on this one. We could just look. I mean, I'm almost in, so it's not like I'm waiting that much. Carnival right here, small buy, 80,000 at the bottom. So really nothing there for CCL. I want to dip buy into 80s, dip buy into 80s, dip buy into 50s as well.
FFI is doing a reverse split. So.
Oh yeah, and wasn't today CRM day?
I think Chipotle.
Yeah, CMG.
CMG. It's CMG. After today is your last day to trade. Well, I mean, if you like trading CMG at a ridiculous price or a super high price, then it's your last day to do it. Tomorrow, everybody else gets to have some fun with Chipotle. So if Faraday is down 32% because they're doing a reverse split, I think that puts it firmly in play today. It's already done 16 million shares worth of volume. Look, levels, levels don't matter that much. I am looking for a dead cat bounce somewhere in this stock. And much like Solar Edge, it's like every single even level, like the 20-cent level, if it gets down to like 15 or something like that, that'll be in play for me. So if you're wondering why, oh no, what happened to Faraday? You know what's short? when you do splits, they're not good.
Faraday, oh my God.
And at the end of the day, we expect this reaction, but the squeeze after has happened before. So I will look for some kind of dead cat bounce. One more to get to. I didn't mention a firm good long yesterday. Little bit of a chance for some continuation here on a firm. If it dips back into the breakout price, that 32, which was a level we liked for the break, if it dips back into 32 and can hold, it's got to hold that 32. 34 was the resistance we tried shorting in the afternoon show. So let's go to Sharif, and we've got 1 minute to the open.
But average true range all week, guys. Today we'll use ATR to gauge realistic profit targets. Catch that with Adair and I on How to Trade at 11.
Yeah, join Adara and Sharif today with only a minute left, going over all the lessons. So that's a very important part of Trader TV. So learn that up there, right here. Here we go. I'm waiting here on CCL in the 20s to see if we can get something out. So it just bounced off of 20. So we're long right now on CCL with only 30 seconds to go. We'll wait to see what winds up happening here on the US Open. NVIDIA still continuing its downside push. We may have to get short early on this. Yesterday it was around 9. I should have looked it up around 9:33 or so that we finally took the short. But right now 122 looking like a good level if it does bump up and kind of hover around. So that would be something with only 10 seconds to go right now. CCL hovering around flat, NVIDIA right here right now, and Apple trying to go lower as well. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and bingo, bango.
Bongo.
As they say in New York, bing bong.
Bing
the
bong.
market is now open. All right, here we go. Nice move down for NVIDIA, immediately breaking through that 121 and looking to go lower. Remember, we did have that big sell imbalance, so a big red candle hitting the name right now. That is NVDA, and continuously going lower here. If we come over to the screen, we can see there it goes right now, 120 coming inbound on that one. Apple as well, whoosh, to the downside right there into 208.50. NVIDIA might have just found a bid at 20s, which we said was a possibility.
ARM is at, I'm out of CCL. It couldn't hold on to
wow,
that
yeah,
17
that's going
level.
down,
ARM
down,
is
down.
at 150, so the break on ARM is imminent. Well, okay, every time I do this, you guys know what happens. Like, I talk about the stock that's about to break a big level, and then I stare at it and it doesn't break the level. So 150, it just bounced, it just got to 151. So look, if it breaks, I'm going short ARM through $150. If it happens, you guys will see the position pop in. We talked about it. But that dip, so like if the breakout doesn't hold, I could have scalped 10 cents. I did not. I'm looking for previous highs for a bounce play here on CCL. That'll be into the 1650 level. Or I can just jump into the breakout one more time above 17. But I want buyers above the 17. ARM still has not broken. NVIDIA, probably gonna take NVIDIA coming down here to drag it with it. NVIDIA is just sitting in the middle of the range doing not much of anything.
Yeah, no, I'm
that what, bro?
going to get punched. I'm in NVIDIA. Sorry, I was looking at CCL because CCL did break. We got more long down there at VWAP, which is what we want to do. We said we were bidding some 1680s, so we still have that. Okay, here we go, man. We have a new position, obviously. Forget about all this junk right now. We are now 50, 60, 70 cents now in the money on the NVIDIA short. I mean, we talked about wanting to get this short. We're short 121.37s right now. Here we go. It's a nice move to start the day off with a nice push down here on NVIDIA. Again, we talked about it. We took it. Fortune favors the bold. I don't know. Let's see what happens right now for NVIDIA. We've already taken out some there as that was a pretty quick move in. So let's wait. We're still waiting for 122, but that's a good move. Like that's 121.40 in there, a quick 80 cents. Let's see if, again, if the move wants to continue that way. We've held out for this move on CCL. So here we go. CCL back to the upside right here. Let's see if it wants to work. CCL's going. Palantir, big move down in. We forgot to talk about Palantir down here to 24.
We forgot about Apple.
And Apple too. I mentioned it, but it's ripping now.
Yeah, Apple made the breakout local high, 210 just came out on Apple. I didn't have my order. Oh, come on. ARM does not want to go. Like, NVIDIA's dragging it down, but there's a serious buyer on ARM at that $150 level. I still have my order to go in. I think you just got to look for dip buys in Apple. Now you're back above. I want strength over on CCL. It just managed to hold. Remember,
CCL,
Carnival's
baby.
call is at 10 o'clock. So you do you when it comes to that call.
Ooh.
but I don't like being involved when the call is on. So, I'm going to try and trade everything around that call and respect that 10 o'clock hits, and I don't want to be stuck in a position. If I'm in the money in something, that's one story. But if you're out of the money, I don't think you want to fight it.
Here we go, baby. I agree. That's why we got out on some. Yes, let's go. Let's spin that money. Let's go, CCL. Uniman, CCL. But no, really, Palantir is the man for me right now. Oh, wow, did we ever hit this one, man? We talked about dip buying into $24. If you are part of Sticky Note Nation, there it is. Look at this trade. Bang, we got it today. That's a good one there for that name. And then CCL, the name that won't give up, apparently. It did have that move down, but right now you are back to highs for CCL. Out some 26s, out some 25. CCL moonshot right now. It's 3 for 3 kind of day to start with here with NVIDIA, Palantir, and Carnival Cruise. Although NVIDIA's coming all the way back up. What's up, Adele?
Penny stock on watch here. GLYC, glycomimetics, currently up about 56%. Probably turning around here, bouncing off this 40-cent level. As you can see, this one did drop quite significantly in May after an issue with the late-stage trial of its blood cancer drug. Trying to climb back up here on news that its CMO, Chief Medical Officer, bought 305,000 of the company's shares, average 26 cents a share. So keep an eye on GLYC insider purchase, guys.
So Rivian just took out top. We'll get to see something in a second.
Rivian
Rivian took out that top, pulling right back in. I have yesterday's high as the out. That's 11.12. It's kind of a random number, obviously, but you can see yesterday's high. It actually held that on the way back in. So not 11 even. It's underneath yesterday's top that we want to respect on Rivian. It is starting to go. I do respect the fact that Tesla is going in the other direction at this moment. Tesla is kind of tanking in here. Yesterday, there was relative weakness at moments when Tesla was weak, Rivian was strong. So it can work, but in the back of my mind, I got to respect the fact that Tesla tanking back into that 182. We do like that level on Tesla. It's got to be patient. Let it get there. CCL, I've taken a couple legs out. We're going to get one more in front of 17.5. There's no levels, but in the back of my mind, that conference call is going to happen. And when it does, I'd rather be taking profit and hold on to the dream than be stubborn about it. So Apple's trying to pull back. We'll get there in a quick little second. And I wanted to mention Affirm. We like the 32 level on Affirm. Affirm bounced off 32.60, so it's very much in the pocket, letting it come back in. I'd like to see support show up at that 32 even area, and then we can get involved in AFRM.
We are now out of this, and we're going to tweet it out here with our CCL. Again, for me, an instant classic right there to the upside, right? Bought that dip into VWAP, boom to the upside, boom again, gets them out there at 50s. I mean, for me, I can't really do it too much better than that. So there it goes, man. Out on CCL, up, and our best out is 46s right there. I would say, so we did go long Rivian. I mean, this is, again, our number one trade idea. So obviously we're not going to get to those levels, but look at this fade back in for Rivian. So yes, sir, it's going to hopefully wind up being a decent trade here for Rivian, but we got to get something out, right? So let's see if we get a 27. And by the way, NVIDIA is right now, Professor, you might not be happy to hear this because I know we're trying to hold NVIDIA, but right now it's a 1 and trying to get to a $2 winner right down here at 120 and change. And yes, we have done it again here on Rivian. It was number one, number two, you can rank it however you want there, but it is on the sticky note down at these levels. So there it is right there, man. It is fantastic. It is NVIDIA, and there it goes right now to the downside. It's just another one. We did it yesterday. We're doing it again today. So, I mean, try to stick with what we're talking about there. We wrote down the levels, but we told you that we were trying to fade this off of 122. So there it is. It's a nice move to the downside here. It's Rivian, and it is fantastic. And then, Rivian's right here.
Rivian is right still.
Yeah, Rivian's a big one for me right here. We're long at 11.20 on Rivian, trying to get some out, but it's NVIDIA was the big one.
Yeah, NVIDIA is definitely the big one. ARM does not hold that breakdown. We were able to get some out. It started to really flush. The spread opened up, obviously, through that 50 level. So we got some at the 70s. We got some at the evens. It would not break 149.5. We jumped out of it, got back in, jumped out when it couldn't hold VWAP. It's got to show me weakness under that level. I do want to be back in this short, but I don't want to be fighting it over the 150. Rivian's going to be a bit of a concern, but Apple did not give us that 210 level on the dip. It just came in, held VWAP. I think at this point, I don't want to chase it too far, but we do like that 210.5. Apple on an absolute tear. Market down, Apple up. I feel like that's a broken record. It's not the first time we've said that story. Let's go to Adara.
Another small cap on watch here, LRHC. This is going to be La Rosa Holdings up over 100% here. Float of about 6.92 million shares, so just under 7 million share float. They're trading higher over the last couple of weeks. Today, up after announcing they're going to white label their AI system. So LRHC to the upside, guys.
All right, we're just, let's just keep on getting it out right now. A little face slapper there on Rivian as we played that dip back in for our IVN, and it's definitely worked out in our favor right there. Okay, so the only trade that we're still up on, obviously we nailed CCL. We talked about that. We got out. It went to 50. That was our target, so we got out of that one. That's 70-cent winner there. I mean, 70-cent winner on his $17 name. We'll take it. Hopefully it gets a little more than that. But Palantir right now, we're going to get out if this breaks back through, right? So if this breaks through 90, let's just get out of it. The market's heading downside. So, you know, a stock that looks like this, we will be able to find a bottom at some point here, but I was just going to, wrong button. I was going to play off of this, which was 90s. So that's 97, and then that very bottom is a 90. So I'm just going to play if it breaks 90, let's get out, because honestly, I don't want to hold this all the way back into 60s and 70s. Palantir is often a good name. It's just sometimes you got to wait for it, and sometimes I don't have patience. So let's try to wait as much as we can here for Palantir. We just got some 96s, giving us an average price of 02. So it'll be a 12-cent hit if it loses it, but we don't like to have losers on board, but sometimes they do happen. NVIDIA's dancing around that 120 area. We could probably get another piece out soon.
Yeah, higher low starting to come into Apple. RGS is halted. The TAP is the indicated open prices at the actual high. So 1546 for those that are looking is where it halted. 1580 is the current TAP. So that would be the pre-market top there. I don't have an order to go in on the reopen. Not that interested chasing RGS. I think we talked about that. DJT, if you're wondering, inside range so far. No 40 test, no 33 test. Nothing to be seen there. Rivian just came right back into that top. So it just made the breakout. It holds that bottom. I think you start consolidating above there, it can be an ad on Rivian. CCL still, like it rejected the 50 over. So I don't want to give it all the way back into 17 even. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. If it can't hold 1740 by the time we get to the earnings call, then I'm jumping out of this stock. I'm not saying it's going to tank on the call, but a lot of times you can get some kind of a reversal on an earnings call. Going over to the other chip name, we mentioned ARM and NVIDIA, but not AMD. AMD is down 2% and just lost yesterday's support at $158. So if this one is going to be the one that breaks and goes, then I don't mind waiting for it to come back in, short a pop back into either the previous low or VWAP. And we talked about SolarEdge. I'm only looking for an SSR bounce on SolarEdge. It's making a bit of one, but not at the level I wanted. 25 would have been where I'd get into it. Trailing stop on CCL, I'm going to hold. If it can hold 1740, then I'm willing to hold it into the earnings call in 15 minutes.
Palantir, trying to go back upside right now. So we just got some out here 5s and then 8s, I believe, 9s right there for a nice little upside push there for PLTR. So far so good on that one. I'm just trying to figure out this NVIDIA trade and how much we want to actually risk here, because it is not necessarily going. Okay, that's Palantir. This is coming back into us right now. I kind of want to wait for 122 now. I mean, the market is screaming higher right now. So, you know, I don't need to be into this. We can reload a small piece. Let's just put a little bit on right. Might have missed that opportunity. Let's just put a little bit on here in the teens. If it can go, it can go. That'd be fantastic for us. We said we don't have much patience for Palantir, but I have patience for 15-cent winners. So we'll slap that one up right now and hit a little bit of a banger there for Palantir. And so far today, CCL, right? That's one of them. You know, NVIDIA here is another one. I mean, we talked about that one being $1.50, and we took advantage of that. And then Palantir is trying to go as well. That's 3 for 3, and then 4 for 4 is Rivian. So far so good here in the morning. It's 9:42. Lighting the lamp, not like the Oilers did last night, unfortunately. But hey, a great run, and congratulations to fans of Edmonton. I mean, you know,
there's a lot of every other team just wanted to be there. So.
Yeah, and they got Connor McDavid, who won the Conn Smythe, which is pretty fantastic. So, and he is the beast and the most talented NHL player of all time, I think. All right, so let's go
Wow, that's
back.
bold statement.
Let's go back over to the desk with Adara.
NNE, another small cap to keep an eye on. This one's been running over the past few days. Yesterday popped up on this catalyst here for nanonuclear energy that it acquired this IP for nuclear functions. Today, getting a price target increase to $39 from benchmark. NNE, guys.
What we're arguing is he might not be the best player of all time because you have to play in the era that you're in, right? We've talked about this, but as far as talent is concerned and straight skill, it's from what I've heard. I mean, this is just what I read and stuff like that and what I watch with my own eyes.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you see, the guy, they did the skills competition this year, and he took it all down, and everyone was just like watching this guy skate. They're like, okay, who's second place, right? So,
Like the stuff whatever. Like, I'm not a great hockey player, but I'll tell you, the ones that do know, they'll tell you the same thing. Like you hear the ones that play, they'll tell you all the same stuff. FFIE's trying to break out here. It is SSR. I was looking for a bounce off 20. I might just join it with some kind of a dip buy. But on this move back up, I mentioned that AMD was holding weakness. Hit enter again. AMD VWAP. Oh, seriously? Okay, AMD cancel. Does not get to VWAP. Holding 157.5, it looks like, and coming right back into the bottom. So AMD clearly weaker than the rest. I guess we'll look for the short at 157.5. VWAP sits just underneath 158. Trying to short a pop here in advanced micro devices, which is falling like an absolute rock. CCL's barely holding on to that 40 level. 15 minutes still to the conference call, so we have some time to work it out for CCL. And then Tesla, with Rivian starting to come back in, Tesla bounced off the 182, which is doing nothing for Rivian right now. So unfortunately for Rivian, it's still testing the lows when Tesla's already in the recovery spot. I guess it was the wrong pick to go to the Rivian breakout instead of the 182 level on Tesla. So I'll also have to fail on myself because the better play would have been the dip buy here on Tesla. Right off 182, pretty much on the dime.
Yeah, I want to try to find some more opportunities myself here as ARM is back to 152 right now. That could be a good short. So I'm already focused. I'm focused, man. So we're focused here on Palantir as that keeps on going to the high side. Now 15 cents in the money over there, but whatever. Let's go back over to our sticky note and see what's happening now with Disney as it's pulling back in. I'm still bidding 102. I like the stock. Rivian, okay, nice little dip down. We're long at 16s. Let's see what happens. It's already a positive name for us, but it is starting to lose its way. We liked 11 long, and then I said like give it back to 1075. I mean, that's where the 50 period is. And if you're just looking here at a 20-minute chart, it was kind of like sort of where I thought we got started yesterday. And again, it was just in the afternoon. We held this 1080 level. So I wanted to try to give it back down into here. I don't know. I don't have a whole heck of a lot of shares, but if I keep averaging in, then I'm going to say bye-bye to these kind of wins right now on NVIDIA because there's the reload. Let's take another 30 cents on NVIDIA, ho-hum, and then see if this gets back into the downside right now. Come on, NVIDIA. Let's go. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day so far here today as we hit CCL. We're lucky on CCL because we took that 1710 break, and that worked for a minute, but then it faded right off the open into what I guess was some sort of a sell imbalance. But we sat there on VWAP. That's the trade we want to make 10 times out of 10. So we're able to do that. Lucky enough that we were looking at it again. And I think that's part of it, right? You got to be on the stock to see it. So we were watching CCL and we knew to put a bid there. So that's what we're doing right now, and we're just trying to figure out this market. As you mentioned AMD, it might be going the other way now because here comes NVIDIA back upside.
Yeah, it just came right in and filled me underneath VWAP there. 44 is that 170, 157 half, not 170, 157 half has been resistance. I'm on the bid in front of 157. It takes them out in front of the low if it gets there. Apple's tracking back to the low. The Nasdaq's trying to take out the top.
Yeah,
Apple's pulling back. Everything, what is going up? I'm looking at some of the charts that I'm looking at. Why is the NASDAQ about to break the high of the day? But I just got to focus on what I'm in. I'm not really sure. I'm going to scan in a second. You're bouncing exactly off of that 157. So I'm going to put something maybe out in front of the teens on AMD to get a fill. And then the low of the day sits 156 half. So we'll break a 157. I'll go like in the 156.80 range. So I just heard Sharif say Meta's carrying the market. It's the NASDAQ's breaking the top as we speak. Like NASDAQ's about to take out the high of the day. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Meta is super strong.
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA just went up $1.50.
Yeah, Apple's pulling back.
Okay, that's good to hear.
All right, look for Apple maybe right here. 209.80 as an out.
Yeah, we'll have to double check the economic calendar here because maybe 9:45. Did we just miss something? No, I don't think so. We didn't. Okay, so yeah, just a nice move up there in the market like instantly. So that's why when you see those kind of moves, you question, say, hey, did we miss something? But no, I just heard Adara say no, so that's all good. All right, well, okay, we are severely reloaded right now, like severely on NVIDIA. So we'll take some out and hopefully we can get some fills in the 60s and the 50s. And then if that does happen, man, then yeah, we will just be really stone cold chilling right now. As we get a 68, come on, man, bring this pain down in. This is one of the largest amount of NVIDIA shares I've had in a long time. So we did really well on that yesterday. So here it comes in again into 150, 120, 150s there. Take some more fills as it comes in. We are short 90s right now. And again, I'm trying to like make the right plays here, but this name is pretty strong. So that's why we have to get something out as I just continue to watch it out here. Rivian's not doing too much and Palantir's just kind of chilling. But really, I have to pay attention to what's happening with NVIDIA. So maybe we could just take some more out here in the low 70s, maybe, if we get lucky enough, but here it goes. Remember, our out is just above this 122, like 122.20 or something like that. So it does look like we did have an opportunity to get some out, which we did. Definitely not enough of it. Let's see what happens here with NVIDIA. There we go. We get some more pullbacks into the 80 area where we take a little bit more out. But for right now, NVIDIA just kind of hands off. And if it blows to the upside, we will give everything back that we made. But we have taken some profit out. I think this is worth the shot here, especially with the market pulling back a little bit. Did you get short Apple up there at all? Because I think that
Apple went all the way to 211. At the end of the day, I went for the dip in front of 80s. It looks like it's going to take it out there. We're about 40 cents on Apple.
Oh, yeah.
We just wicked the bottom on AMD here. So AMD just wicked the bottom. Got to watch out for that because the market's going back up to that high. So we took it in here on Apple, looking for that hold above 210, but it doesn't look like it wants to hold it. If it takes out the 3/4, I'll jump away, wait for something a little bit deeper. Some concern. We already talked about it. 10 minutes, you're going to have the CCL call. I would go over to Affirm, but I feel like we have enough on at this particular moment. NVIDIA is trying to break. Yeah, this might take... When AMD catches a bid after it fails a break at the low of the day, I'm tentative about reloading this one at VWAP. So if it gets into VWAP, I'd need to see some kind of a failure. We did get some at that low, but the market is still marching to the upside. Meta looks like it's a stronger one. Apple's doing its best on the dip. Probably could have got a price closer to 210 even, ended up with the quarters. But if it can't hold this local bottom, it's not relatively strong if it's under VWAP as the market's breaking higher. It was strong early, looking like it's going to be weak now. If you hear something, the fire alarm. It's fire alarm test day. We're hearing over the speakers. And oh yeah, we'll get
days.
So I wanted to make sure we're on Apple so you can see that it took out that bottom before I moved over.
There goes NVIDIA.
Went back into ARM at the high of the day on this failure at the top. So we like the short. It did not work at 150, got one out, but the rest stopped out. And now we're into the short off the high of the day. But I got to respect VWAP on an upward trending stock. I don't want to give up on the notion of a long in Apple. I just think we have to be a little bit more patient with our level for AAPL. I think it has a chance to maybe get lower and give us another bid. So I'm going to bid on ARM. I'm going to wait for Apple to put a higher low.
All right, we have a shit ton of shares on Apple right now. So here we go. Let's go, Apple. 209.70. We make back what we lose on NVIDIA right here, but we still did lose on NVIDIA despite NVIDIA coming back down. So right now we are long at 209.70 on Apple. We just took a bunch out there when it went into the 90s. So, okay, now let's wait to see. I still... Listening to Neil there, I do agree that 210. Would love to see that break to the upside, obviously, right now, but we did take some out there. It's too bad about NVIDIA. Look, NVIDIA did fall out, but we were able to take some money. We just gave it back, and we're wound up red right now on NVDA as that goes to the upside. So now we just wait. I mean, I'm not going to throw everything away when I look over here, and we didn't really talk about this too much until 125. So, hey, if it can get to 125, then how exactly much are we going to be up right now on Apple? So let's go, Apple. We've got, okay, there it is, man. Apple not going into the gates of hell. We hit the wrong one. Apple, nice trade. Back up to the upside there into the, it just printed 99s. there on Apple. So far so good. Man, oh man, did we let NVIDIA go maybe a little bit too early, but it did take that 122. So let's wait to see what happens. Go Apple, you can do it, man. This name getting back above 210 would really put a smile on this guy's face. Rivian right now, nice upside. We should probably get something out. Palantir's up right now as well. It looks like we'll do pretty well today on everything. Too bad that we gave up on that NVIDIA, because now it would be really cruising back into the 60s, man, for that one. But Apple is the one right now for me. So far so good here today, but it's only 9:53. So we'll wait to see what happens. We have KO coming, Kevin O'Leary coming around 11 o'clock.
We're going to stick around a little bit longer when he'll be on the desk for the morning show. Look, CCL 5 minutes to the call. No change for me. If the call goes the other direction, I'm out underneath that 1740. I might look for a dip buy at those same levels, like 16.5, if it even presents itself, but that's a big if. You never know what's going to happen. I feel a little bit better about AMD. Right now, it's slowing down pretty much where you'd want it to, which is at VWAP. So we got 38s. I'm looking for a fill at that 40 range once again, and then we'll short AMD to the low of the day. Was able to get a fill at that 52 level on ARM. And what's the other one I wanted to get to? We talked about Tesla. Tesla, unfortunately, 182 has come and gone. VWAP has come and gone. So the dip buy opportunity at that 82 level is pretty much kaput, as Tesla's now up 1%. If we take out the top, I think it looks like a pretty good day for Tesla. Just got to be patient with it. I like the 82 level, and given the bounce, I don't want to be looking short on Tesla unless it's in the high 80s. But there's no chance that I'm chasing this move after we've missed it. Just got to wait for it to pull back and give some kind of an entry that is reasonable. DJT still yet to do anything. So if you're waiting around for a Donald J. Trump stock, it's doing absolutely nothing. FFIE looking pretty strong though. So I like that dip buy. It's an SSR name. We'll play off of VWAP for Faraday Futures. I'm replacing DJT ideas with FFIE, which is at least doing something.
All right, there we go. Apple. It's really too bad that we got, because it would be wild for me to be long a lot of shares on Apple and short on NVIDIA, but that's working out. It's just we got stopped out on NVIDIA. As NVIDIA goes lower, Apple goes higher. So there's that stop out on NVIDIA, and I'm not embarrassed about it because we got out there and it's fine. It sucks that it was about 15 cents from the high, but look at this push down for NVIDIA. So I'm feeling pretty good for some of you anyways. I hope you're still in that. We were never talking about going long on this name at all. So we did not do it. So there's a nice push back in, and that would just be absolutely wild for me to have both of these. But for right now, we just have one, and it is a banger right there. This easily goes to P&L number one is Apple today off this. I mean, we loaded this up right down there on Apple, so we're pretty proud of that one and happy with it. We'll see what happens with Rivian though. That NVIDIA is going to haunt me for a little bit, but you know what? There's always more trades, and like I said, NVIDIA has been very, very good to me so far this
like Sammy Sosa said.
For a while. Yeah, very, very good. Right? Wasn't that Alomar said that? Didn't he? Or what did Sosa say?
Baseball's been very good to me. Was that Alomar?
I think that was Alomar. Baseball has been very, very good to me.
That's you might be right about that.
That's the Robbie Alomar.
For some reason, I thought it was.
Too bad about that guy. I think he was the most talented Blue Jay of all time. So that's what I think.
The only issue with that is Ricky
unless you want to say Roger Clemens.
Ricky Henderson played for
or Roy Halladay.
Ricky Henderson played a year for us. That's the only thing.
Is he more talented than?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he?
Yeah, Ricky was ridiculous. Ricky was ridiculous, man.
Oh, I know he was great, but I mean, I don't know. I still stay out.
He played 1 year. That doesn't count. But what does count is AMD. I don't know if a third time is going to be a charm. It's a higher low. It failed the low break. We did reload it at 157.40. It got down to 157 again, and now you're consolidating higher up. Still no fills in FFIE, so Faraday does not seem to care that I want to get long in front of VWAP. And CCL came out, just for everybody. I mentioned going into the call, either it holds on to this level at 1740 for the call, and then you hold it in the money, or we just get out and wait for the next move. So the call is going to start in 2 minutes. Sometimes I'd be buying a dip at VWAP, but not in this situation. I'm not going to buy the dip when the call starts. It could flush 50 cents or $1, and then I might look for the dip buy after something like that on CCL here. Still very much on the radar for me. But AMD, no reload this third time through. If it fails the VWAP break, like gets above 157.5 and comes back under, I might take a short that way. We're still in a piece, and we do like that short trade. George Bell is not even close there, L87P. I love George Bell, but he was kind of overrated no D, no base running, couldn't take a walk.
The only Jado and MVP, I think, right? Okay, so did he? I don't think
Clemens
Clemens
won an MVP.
Did he win MVP? He might have won Cy Young. Yeah, Josh Donaldson. Okay, so there it is right there on Palantir, man. Let's go. That's a face slapper for PLTR, baby. I mean, what else can we do? We mentioned on here on the sticky note. Let's dip. I mean, I just hope that you guys are looking at the sticky note, because there it is right there. Dip buys into 24. It never broke 24.50. So here's the dip buy for Palantir. Right? There's the dip buy into 24. There's the 24.05. There's the 23.95 with the stop. And I told you where the stop was, breaking through 90. So well worth the risk to the upside right there. And man, oh man, what has been a good trade continues to be that with Apple. So Apple's still high side now. We just got some out at 20s or something, in the 20s, I think it was. Sorry, just right here again, 16s. So we just took back-to-back 15s there, sorry, on that trade. So right now, today, we will have a blemish. It will be NVDA, but Rivian right now, again, couple good outs on Rivian. Nothing lower than where we're at. We did get scared there on this move back, but we still want to buy 11, so not that scared at all. And then, of course, we've already taken advantage of CCL. That was a great trade for us early. It went to 50. That was our target, and then we got out and then let the rest happen. So it's fading back into the 50-period moving average, so that could be something as well. But with only 20 seconds left, let's go back over to the desk for the Richmond Fed Manufacturing and Adara.
We also have the CB Consumer Confidence number. So this one also coming in at 10 a.m. here. Previous 102 consensus, 100 forecast 99. We're getting the Richmond Manufacturing Index, previous of 0 consensus 2 forecast 3. Manufacturing as well. We've just got these numbers here. So manufacturing negative 10, much lower than consensus and forecast here. A manufacturing shipments index negative 9 versus the consensus of 13. So that's also going to be lower than expected. Last but not least, Richmond Fed Services Index also lower than expected here, negative 11 versus the consensus of 2. Still waiting on that CB Consumer Confidence number here, but we have those Richmond prints. CB Consumer Confidence just coming in here slightly higher than expected, 100.4 versus the consensus of 100, forecast of 99. So S&P 500 getting a little bit of a move up here on this number right at 10 o'clock. We also have the NASDAQ slightly higher than the S&P 500, so we see a lot of these AI names and chip names making some recoveries from weakness in the previous days. Also worth noting, CCL, Carnival, having their conference starting at 10 a.m. We'll definitely let you guys know if we hear anything from that. Other names to keep an eye on here are DJT, falling off a little bit, still up about 3% after trading higher by 21% yesterday, announcing this $69.4 million in initial proceeds from exercising some warrants. We also have Solar Edge here down about 17%, getting some price target decreases after announcing a $300 million convertible notes offering due 2029, and also announcing an updated Q2 guidance. So quite a few names to keep an eye on here, guys.
The initial move after the call, which is starting right now, is actually a bit of a bounce, but no huge volume spikes just yet on CCL. We'll let that one play it out. If I see something extreme, I was kind of hoping for a dip opportunity, but it's kind of going up right now off the 17 level. ARM, you cannot stay wrong. It's okay to be wrong. We wanted that 150 break for a couple of weeks. It goes a little bit and then reverse hard. We did reshort it at 53 and got 52, 51.70, but when it takes out the high of the day, we're jumping out 100%. There's still a chance that it holds that high and comes back underneath, but that's not a trade that I like for ARM. I like ARM when it's trending into the downside, when it's breaking levels or underneath a resistance level, not when we're pretty much holding above. AMD's still holding out pretty well, and Tesla is absolutely flying right now, taking out these highs. High of the day, very similar chart to ARM. It's got some overhead resistance at 186. I still think I'd like to wait for a dip buy opportunity in that stock. And going back to FFIE, it's trying to dip back into 24. Mogul, by the way, is also making some power moves. We talked about these small cap names. No, it's not Mogul. It's not ML. It's not MGLO. It's MLGO. Yeah, I keep getting those two mixed up. I hate the fact that it is an actual other stock. It's MLGO. Halted to the upside, opened higher. If you like the long here, try to remember that it failed 15, both today and yesterday, late in the day. I think it needs to take out 16, or you're looking for dip buys on MLGO. That 15 was a big level on the daily. Still has no chance yet of breaking that level at 15. Big sellers at 15 on MLGO.
Man,
LGO.
yeah, MLGO, yeah. Yeah, Apple is going absolutely ham right now. So, I mean, I don't know where it's going to wind up, but like it just broke 210 and I was like, oh, I'll get some out. And then it ripped up to 210.20 again. So, yeah, let's just keep on getting some out. But the one thing that I've done again here, and there goes Apple. Come on, Apple. Let's go to the downside now. Okay, we'll get some out now. We went back into NVIDIA because it seems like maybe I didn't. Okay, well, Apple's really cruising now. Okay, let's go. We're getting revenge right now on NVIDIA. We're only short right here at 122.15s, but hopefully we'll dip in and we'll put some out here into the 80s and see if it gets to the downside. We're taking some out because this is the only red name on my board here today with NVIDIA, and I like the stock. But look at Palantir. Oh, yeah. Let's go on that one. OMG, as that one continues to go. Let's see if we can actually hold on to some Palantir today. Well done there to the upside for PLTR. Let's hope it's a continuation move on Apple. And you guys know when we were just talking about this before that we like the stock right here. So let's take it on Apple and see where we go now as NVIDIA. Come on, baby. Stay low. What's up, eh?
Eli Lilly getting a bit of a move here, up about 8.7% here, announcing a collaboration with OpenAI. They're going to use OpenAI's generative AI to help discover novel medicines for treating drug-resistant bacteria. So OpenAI collaboration for LLY just announced here, guys.
Right, we're into Disney, by the way.
Good look for. I love Eli Lilly. How much that matters. We know that a lot of these bio names are going into AI and utilizing. So those partnerships are inevitable. Who else are you going to partner with? But Rivian takes another high of the day breakout. Keystroked in and out flat.
We love
so
that.
Thank goodness. If you get in, if you don't want the position. I was actually setting up a sell order for the buy and then got a flat. The high of the day break just happened again. That 1130 is still the level that I like. So if it's holding above there, then we still want to be in that long. AMD gave up VWAP. So we were holding on a piece for the continuation, but it just broke out. So remember I said I'm going to not take it the third time, but if it's a fail, like a failed break, I'll try to grab it on the way back in. Well, this looks like the way back in. Willing to get the stop out and willing to jump back in at that same price if we can get it, as AMD with a bit of a psych mode. It has been the short that worked, so I don't want to give up on it, but wasn't willing to let everything else break out those highs and then just be stubborn about it. So we're back in underneath VWAP on Rivian, on AMD for the third time, now short under VWAP AMD.
All right, Apple, dollar. I mean, we had talked about that. We like that stock. There it is. It's $1. It's huge. Rivian. I mean, so far today on the sticky note, we have Palantir long $24, and Rivian long back to 11. Disney back to 102. And by the way, Disney, look what we did on Disney right here. We're long at 102.05. Exactly as we wrote down here. That's 20 cents in the money right there as well for that. Look, I don't know what's going to happen with NVIDIA. We just took out half of our position, and we're just very lucky. We talked about bidding some 90s and some 80s. I'm going to try to hold the rest and see if we do get a push down. I'm going to cancel that. I actually have a bid in the 60s now, so if it goes up, it takes out this 50 area, then we're just going to get out of NVIDIA. I just want to being a little bit stubborn here because we like the 122 area, and it's just, I feel like it's just an area stop, and we stopped out on that break of 122.30. So, we're in the 30-cent winner now. Let's see if we can get a little bit lower into the 60s to make this a 2-to-1 banger. It's really Palantir that's right back up to the highs that has been, for me, the better trade. So we'll wait to see what happens here with Palantir, obviously, versus NVIDIA, but there's another out for us on Palantir. I mean, look at these dip buys. No matter the kind of style of trader you are, right? I mean, these are dip buys. We also did support and resistance trades as far as NVIDIA is concerned and Apple's concerned, but I mean, good dip buy opportunity there, and then a great dip buy opportunity in Rivian. So yeah, so far so good, and this is that note that we're talking about. There's the Rivian. Get the long back in at 11, started at 11. If you got 1075s, even better. But we get 11s, and we're long right now, 11.13. So far so good. And there's the dip buy for Disney down to 102. So, all right, let's see what happens with NVIDIA, as that's the only one in question now. Apple, we've sort of cleaned that up, and yeah, we'll wait to see what happens with the rest of these trades as both you
I
and
think CCL's.
Oh, you're really in electric
now.
car mode here.
Well, not really. I mean, Faraday, like Faraday is a penny stock that's trying to bounce because it's down over 10%. Like, you know, it's probably not going to necessarily move with the market. Like Tesla could go to the moon and Rivian could go to the moon and Future Faraday is going to do, or Faraday Future is going to do whatever the heck it wants. It's a very different style trade, I think, just looking to buy VWAP on something trending up. But CCL, since the call started, all it's done is sink in that 117 level where we had the original stop at 1690 is held. So at least for now, there is a temporary bottom. I was looking for a dip buy opportunity. If it can hold a higher low, just want to give it a little bit more time during the call to hold on. And as I said with FFIE, like this is not, like this, I'm not trying to like break the mold thinking the stock is going to be a good one, but you know, it's down over 10% as you guys can tell, and it's putting in higher lows. So we'll bounce off VWAP, the high is 26. I'll get some out in front of 26. If it tries to go green, I want no part of it if it goes green. I'd be well out of the stock. You know, I don't think it's going to go that far. The high of the day is a good enough target for myself here. So just going to get some orders out in front of 24, 25, and at 26. Let's call it on Faraday Futures. Rivian, we are back in because it attempted another breakout, and I wanted to go over to Tesla to show you guys the massive strength that is still in Tesla. So all of a sudden, forget about buys into VWAP. You're now holding above the breakout price on Tesla. So Tesla's really gotten away from us. I'm slapping the fail myself because 182, I made the choice of Rivian over Tesla. 182 dip buy, went into Rivian on the breakout play, and Tesla was the better one. So over this resistance, if it can hold here, I think it's a continuation play. But that's not the long that we wanted this morning. It's the long that we are forced to take because it's a rocket ship.
Yeah, we forced ourselves into Palantir, willed ourselves into it, and we just take another out here as it goes back up to the upside. Disney as well, but NVIDIA breaks again 122.58, so 122.50s. So we wound up getting out of that one, but again, we were just sort of short up here anyways, so it was okay for us. A little bit more patience on that one as the NASDAQ tries, I guess, to go back up to 20,000. It's all good. We're green today. It's been a good day. Only one red name, NVIDIA, as it pulls back, of course, but it's a pretty violent one there. Let's go over and see what Adair is up to.
Some updates here from the Carnival conference call if you're involved in CCL here. Getting a little bit of a boost up. We have executives saying that the adjusted EBITDA was the highest in over 15 years and surpassed its Q2 of 2019. So quite a few records here for its adjusted EBITDA. Also saying that they're seeing consistent growth in repeat guests and new guests. So some growth updates and strong EBITDA coming into this CCL conference call. Let you guys know if I see anything else here.
That all looks pretty bullish to me. Like I don't see anything. I haven't heard anything that seems bad for CCL at this particular point, so it's given some back. Looks like we're back into an upward trend on the stock, so we'll try to get some 17s on the way back in here. Just watch out for where the futures are. 19.9, 20,000 is going to be a bit of a thing. So if I haven't gotten into a long on Tesla and we're challenging that $20,000 level, I don't necessarily want to be chasing it. But CCL, I think, is back into good graces. For now, I think it can always be temporary. Tesla, as mentioned, trying to pick it up. Might have to get a little bit more aggressive with the dip in Tesla, but I'm looking for something at afternoon or lunchtime resistance yesterday. That's where I'd like the consolidation buy on Tesla. Up 2% when the market's only up 0.7, clearly a relatively strong stock, but I'm not looking for a take of the high of the day here on TSLA. Could be in it, but we're not, so we have to wait for the next available pullback on Tesla.
Okay, so yeah, we're still cruising with Apple. It's still here. It's not doing a whole heck of a lot at these levels here, trying to hang out above 110. So that, or 210, sorry, that would be a level there for Apple. But we're still waiting. Let's just check out on some of the crypto names as Coinbase 61.3. So we could definitely check out that name. And we talked about a 220 level. Nice move up. I mean, great move up $5 almost straight there, with a little bit of an exhaustion candle, I guess, 218 and change. I mean, decent volume, basically the biggest red candle there since the open just got put in and around 218 and change. But without actually sitting here and staring at what crypto was doing, I do feel like that's a tough one. Oh man. All right, Disney right now is pretty good for me. We did take a decent amount of shares there on Disney. So again, 30 cents. So we'll take that, put that in our pocket and see what winds up happening here for Disney as we take a little bit out there at 30. Apple is pulling back now, back into where we got long the first time, which is kind of strange. I mean, I don't know, the market's at highs and Apple right here just got faded. So we had seen this happen before to Apple and we loaded up. Let's try it again. We're not gonna necessarily load up here because this move is uncharacteristic. There we go, we get some 77s there, I guess. And let's just wait to see what now happens here as Apple. I had my stop still in from before at 209.50, so it's coming in right now for Apple. So it'll be my number one stock. It doesn't even matter unless I absolutely load up down here, which I don't think we'll do. But here it comes back in for Apple. Just gonna get a 209.50 break. We just bought a little bit more on this dip right there. So that's what we're working with right now. I saw banks were pretty strong yesterday. We could definitely have a look over there. FFIE there, Rivian. Good out for Rivian. We have less than 10% left. So right now I'm basically getting out of everything. We have less than 10% left of Palantir, less than 10% of Rivian, and 30% still of Disney. So the Disney trade is going to be good. Hopefully that will come up. If we can get something around 102.50, that would be a good one. And again, like just another name on here. The only red name is NVIDIA. And it's not even like NVIDIA should be red for me. It's just keeps on like hitting our outs and then pulling. So it's just, I don't have the right spots on it.
Speaking of which, AMD just got to the next level up. So that continues to go. We got away from VWAP. I think you have to in that particular situation. And then the next level is going to be yesterday's bottom. So like support into resistance, that's 158.5. So looking for a curl off that level. I got 22s. If it breaks that half, we got to jump away from this. It's way too strong. If you're going to break both VWAP, make that low, and then take out yesterday's bottoms, you could easily retrace into 160. But we're in it. We waited for the next levels. That's what we're going to do. Tesla, yeah, you know, Tesla's just gone at this point. So Tesla breaks 187 now. Okay, Tesla's at 187 now. It's about to break. It'll do it in a couple of seconds here and just continues to fly higher and higher. So we're not dipping. We're not going to get a dip by at 185. I think that's come and gone. So we're just in it. We're just in FFIE and AMD. CCL's continuing to hold trend to the upside. And I'm still bidding out in front of the 17 level. But that MLGO opened back up. You had a hot minute that you could have got the $16 break. If you got a fill there, congratulations to you. It literally opened right at that price and then just ran. So with that $18, I'm not touching this thing up here. I think you needed it as it was taking out that high from yesterday. So MLGO off to the races. The reload for me was on AMD. If VWAP was a place to go short, if it pops down to VWAP, that's a place to cover and take profit on. Sorry, if VWAP was a place to go short before, shorting back into VWAP is the way that I want to play it here. On a relatively strong name, down 1%, but it has made another higher low.
Okay, all right, yeah, so coming back in, talking about making lows right now, it looks like Apple will go back into the low right now, and I don't want to hold this. So if the market fades out, the market fades out. I'm already a little disappointed that we had dropped our NVIDIA so early, but we did it. And there it is. There goes Apple breaking lower. So we're still holding on to a small piece here, but it is trying to get back in. So we cannot hold. We do not want to hold a big piece and turn a good trade into a bad trade. We'll still be up. It'll still be my number one. Actually, Palantir will now be my number one stock because this never came back. We don't have very many shares on that one either. So there goes NVIDIA. Finally starting to break lower there on this move back in. So missed opportunity for sure. Maybe we can go over and have a quick look at AMD to see if there's anything happening with this name, maybe a little bit better than NVIDIA, but NVIDIA just pulling back in. I think a 121.50 break might be the better trade as AMD's still hanging out upside. So this could be a good fade as well. But again, a little different. AMD's already down, NVIDIA was up 2 and a bit percentage points. So I feel like you could fade NVIDIA a little bit more to get it back to Greensville as look at NVIDIA go down. See, like this is what I mean. Like, oh, it sucks to be red on a name when we just got stopped out by like 20 or 30 cents when we were trying to hold for a bigger move. But that's what happens in trading. A nice pullback here for NVIDIA. If you like the long, there's nothing wrong with trying it right now. 121.50 right off VWAP. I mean, a decent pullback. The market's still up. This is not a horrible spot for NVIDIA longs. I'm gonna try.
Is it breaking?
Well, I don't break.
Oh, sorry, no, never mind. It's VWAP up pullback. Yeah, so still not breaking that high. I did just take some out of AMD. I wanted to get to to Amazon for a quick second there. So AMD pulls back into 158. We get some out, still upward trending. So I think you want to take profit. You can go against the grain, but if you short something which is moving up and you don't take profit when it starts to bounce, then you don't make money because you're going against the trend. You can hold something with the trend as long as you want and just trail it out, you'll be fine. I think the other way you have to respect it. It was Amazon we got to get to. I'll rate down all the key levels, and you try to play a little bit of patience. If it trades at a key level, you want it to get there. Amazon, I feel it failed a breakout of the all-time high or a test of the all-time high at 191, a failed breakout yesterday. Looking at 188, this is the pocket in the afternoon where it had resistance. That's the only spot that I want to be short this name. So it's within 50 cents of said level. All right, AMD starting to go back downside pretty heavily. Still nothing doing on CCL. Yeah, I mean, nothing doing on CCL. It's trying to consolidate above VWAP. I think if you were willing to just sort of take it bouncing when they started the call, you'd be laughing at this moment. I was wanting to see some support, see what they're saying in the call first. That was a mistake. You could have just bought the dip at 17 and been just fine. If it holds VWAP, looking for a bounce off VWAP, jump back in, give it to 17.20, play it into the high of the day. So we're going to go back to the well on CCL. That was not intended to be a
Well?
well, CCL.
Oh, well, and CCL.
That was
yeah,
very
anytime you
good.
rhyme an L with a well, yeah. I guess that's good. All's well that ends well on that story. All right, so
That's such a weird thing.
it looks like it's going to, break 121. That'll be our stopping zone here. I just thought it was worth a dip buy opportunity, but if it doesn't want to go back up, then this is well worth 20 cents of risk. I mean, we can get out for flat right now. It's starting to stack it up. Well, now we're not getting out for flat. Now we're getting out for winners right now. So there it is. We'll take some 29s. Okay. Twist my arm. NVIDIA, I mean, if this goes back upside right now, then we'll be laughing on this stock. So let's wait to see if there is an opportunity now for NVIDIA to get going here off that level. Come on, NVIDIA. Let's go. We're almost positive on NVIDIA right now, by the way, and we just talked about it being a disaster for us today. Not a disaster. We were down on it, but now we go back up to the upside for NVDA, buying it off that 121. Let's see now if it wants to get back upside. Hey, I thought you were strong, NVIDIA. What's the matter with you? Here it comes back up. Here we go, NVIDIA. All right, all you have to do is shake your hand at this thing. All right, 121.50 for NVDA. Oh, wow. Let's see if it can get up there. I don't know. We just took some out. So nice trade so far for that one. Decent hold for Apple. We did hold a third of it as it's trying to make a move back up. I don't trust this one nearly as much as NVIDIA, nor I'm sure if we want to be actually long right now. But NVIDIA's, smooth sailing so far. Let's see if it holds 121.
What?
MLGO, I know you have it up. Halted again. I'll have to go over there and have a look.
$20?
$20. Here it is. I'll call it up before we go over to Adair. Oh, you have it. Go to Neil's screen and he has it up.
Sheesh. So obviously, yeah, I mean, if you chased it, you'd be laughing. That 16 break.
Wow.
We're gonna go.
There
You
goes
know what?
NVIDIA,
We're
by
gonna
the
go
way.
to Adara for the small cap recap. The tap is exactly flat again. So 1991 halt. 1991 is the current tap. Or 90 halt. 91 is the current tap. NVIDIA is going up. I like the fact that AMD is pulling back in. We want to respect that. But MLGO,
Yeah.
insane. That's one of the small caps going. Let's see about some others. I guess that would.
No shortage of small caps running right now, that's for sure. First, though, we're going to take a look at the IWM, which is holding support really nicely here at that 200 area after a drop pretty early on. So good look here for the Russell 2000, slightly down in the day, trying to curl back up here. Quite a few names running: MLGO, LRCH, and some other names like NNE. This one dropping a little bit here. Nanonuclear Energy initially ran yesterday, announced that it acquired some IP related to nuclear transfer. So nice look there. Getting a price target increase from 15 to 39 from benchmark. So great look for NNE. Next up, we have Enovix, ENVX. This one has a little bit larger market cap here, about $2 billion, but short float of about 25.8%, citing a deal for silicon, supplying silicon batteries for mixed reality headsets, up about almost 30% here. And last but not least, we have Vulcan. No news on this one, VLCN, but it's up over 150%. Worth noting as well for VLCN, halted a couple times here, and it does have a float of about 250,000 shares, market cap of under $1 million. So very small float market cap for VLCN. So many runners today, guys.
So many runners. We're lucky to hold this Apple back. I mean, you know, we were long here, 75s. We got long again, 62s. It broke 50s. We got some out at 50. We held the third and all the way back up to 210.05. So good trade right there. And man, oh man, it's like this NVIDIA is like, it makes some money back. It comes back in, makes some money back again, gets some more out. This is going to be a short, and it's just bad. It's too bad because we had nailed that short early, and now it falls back in. So let's let the market settle down. It's 10:20. I mean, there's still lots of time. We'll let this continue to go upside there. Palantir continues to go. So despite the market really doing nothing, Palantir at highs and still going. So we actually like a 24.50 break, but we're already long. So we might as well hold on and see if it continues to work right there as Apple back above 210 again.
And CCL just lost VWAPs. We'll give some of it back. It could still hold the $17 level. But for now, like you're basically that 1740 where we had the original trail out, that's turned into resistance. And when that happens, you know, if it was an out before and it's an out again and that's a lower high, then you got to be patient. Don't want this to reverse. There's pre-call and there's post-call. And since we've started that range, you've run into a resistance level on CCL. I am in Amazon. We talked about waiting for it to get to 188. It got to 187.87. So we got pretty much to that top. I'm short to the even dollar. If it takes out the even dollar, there's still overhead like 188.5, but that would be separate trades. At your MLGO or MGLO, MLGO, still in the halt. It's going to open back up in about a minute. I'm gonna go pay for some locates. If something absolutely silly happens underneath this halt price, it is the $20 level. I only care about ridiculous levels every $5 when stock gets up here. So if there is a chance that it immediately fails that and there's a tight stop short, I'll go to take it. But I didn't pay for locates on this. I paid for them on DJT.
Oh, DJT. Okay. All right, we're trying to flip up the game here to the short NVIDIA right now. But all right, we're short at 40s right here. We've just been covering some in the mid. See, like there it goes. So now it's okay, let's take some profit, man. It's 20 cents in the money. We got to start taking something out. We've been taking it out, but we've been like very sort of waiting for it to happen and waiting for bigger moves, when realistically it's just the scalps that have been working. Like, look, this could bounce again. Like, we just got some out in the teens, and now look, rips right back up again. So yeah, I think changing up the mood here a little bit for me on NVIDIA and just trying to scalp this volume has paid off, especially since we've been dancing with it here at 121. We made some money short and long right now, but it's just a lot of volume. It's only 116 million. I only say that because it's been like 400 or 500 the last couple days, so I feel like I'm not, at this time of day, I feel like it's a little bit light to where it's been, but let's wait to see what happens here with NVIDIA trying to drift above that 60 level, and then we'll get out of it. So look, right back to flat again. We've already took some profit on half. So that's the story. This trade could be a flat trade again for me if we take out 60, but we're already out of half. We're playing with house money. Let's see if the short prints. Same thing here for Apple. Feeling pretty good about it. It's going to be my PL number one on the day. That's Apple. We did get out of a little bit of it there. Tried to hold on, and we did. We did not average back in. So just taking like a 10 or 15 cent hit on 2/3 of it, then making 30 or 50 cents on the third puts that into a win. And there goes NVIDIA. So I look over at my net, it's just like dancing. We're still red on it, but it's like I'm making, losing, and paying fees at the end of the day there, trying to catch this name as there it goes right back up again into 121.60. So out some in the teens there, out the rest in the 60s. NVIDIA just flying around. Palantir 60 cents. And boy, oh boy, has Rivian been a great stock today. Rivian up to 11.50.
Rivian's an absolute monster. 12 is the level for Rivian on resistance. So, oh my goodness, wow. Okay, well, you're not getting back underneath at 19. So there's the failed breakout of that $20 level. But you guys, I think it was on my chart when it came to me, so you would have seen that reversal. That was pretty darn fast on that one. I don't know if we'll get a fill on the halt to the downside. We're not. So it was looking for a breakdown underneath 1990, was locked and loaded to go. Pretty much no chance. Didn't even get the fill there on the halt. We'll just go ahead and cancel that order. Was looking for a fail at that price, but that was even faster than I would have anticipated. Sometimes you can catch that on the way back in. Trying to get AMD at the same level at 158.5. It just did another curl. Amazon getting into that 188 as well. So those are the two positions we're in. If you're an algo, I guarantee you're going to get that fill on MLGO. It was pretty cheap for the locate, so you missed the trade. It is what it is. I wasn't going to chase it too far down. But it's a volatility halt. It'll be open in 5 minutes. AMD, if it gets to VWAP again, I think we got to take more out on advanced micro devices. It's still trend to the upside. And every time I look over at Tesla, so far it's been, well, you're not getting into it, Neil. I look into it this time and we get back into yesterday's afternoon support levels. So I guess we're going to finally get a dip buy into Tesla. As I said, every time I talk about Tesla today, I'm going to mention that it was a fail not to buy the 182. Right? You can put a line in the chart, you can have it as a level that you like, you can talk about it, but if you don't throw the bid in there, last I checked, you can't go long without bidding a stock.
Yeah, you don't have to check your notes
technically
for that
speaking,
one. I guess you could get,
There's like ways to do it with like options. You can get like a sign a position, but you know what I mean when I say that. For us, you have to hit the bid.
All right. So we just got some more out of Palantir, so let's props it up for that one. I know there's a lot of Palantir traders in the building, so shout out to anybody looking at that stock as we did go long that name at that bottom. We were sort of pumping the tires of this stock this whole time. And we just really liked it. We saw the strength in it yesterday and then continued today off of that play. So, a good little bottom take there today at $24. We wrote it down. We really liked that level. If you're looking at yesterday's charts, some dip buys into 24. It happened a couple times there. So we take advantage of that on PLTR. We just, again, scalping out some profits here on NVIDIA again against 122. We're short at 121.85. And it's gonna, way over trading it. But these outs here, we just got an out there at 57, So it's we are getting outs for profitable levels. And even here as well, that's our last one in and out stock. But there's one 121.68 off of an 85. So maybe they're not moving around too great, but we are taking some outs to the downside before watching this name go. There's so much potential with NVIDIA that it's it's driving me insane here. As there it goes back, there it goes back up again. All right. We can probably just leave it alone and stick with Apple as crypto right now at 1030. Let's go find out about that. 62,000 right now for crypto.
Certainly lots to talk about Bitcoin. We also have the Dallas Fed Services and Dallas Fed Services revenue indices coming in here. Just going to wait and see if those are coming in. We're expecting negative 10 for the Dallas Fed Services index, coming in a little bit higher than expected here, negative 4.1. So this is above the previous number, negative 12.1, and the negative 10 that we were expecting. So getting Dallas Fed Services revenue index, this one a little bit lower than the estimate in the previous number, 1.9 versus 8 consensus and 6.7 previous. So that's the Dallas Fed Services and Dallas Fed Services revenue indices. In terms of Bitcoin, quite a few miners making some moves today. Hut 8 HUT to the upside. We also have BTBT. This was with a miner and a supplier of digital assets. We have Bit Digital here announcing some finalized terms for contract expansion. So nice move up here for BTBT, about 26%. Lots of these small cap miners making some big moves today. In terms of Bitcoin itself, also making a nice move. Just cracked above that 62,000. Looks like we're at high of day here on this chart. So great look, recovering after slipping nicely below 60,000 yesterday. So after 2 straight days to the downside and a pretty big day down yesterday, we're trying to recover from that today. A lot of recovery across the board here in all of these cryptocurrencies. Ethereum just cracking above this 3,400 level, about 2 2/3%. BNB up 2%, Solana up almost 8%, Cardano up 5%, Dogecoin up 6%. Great day for cryptocurrencies, guys.
Yeah, good. You're only at 62,000, but it's not, I guess it doesn't really take much to call it a good day. It's a recovery day for the crypto names. I'm not in any, it's still Tesla. AMD came out. It's how much do you want to fight it? We waited till the key levels to short it, but it's still higher lows every single time. And this time it doesn't even give us a dip. Every other time that I've been short this stock, it's gone at least 50 to $1. This time, we get back in, it goes maybe 10 to 15 cents and then a break of the high of the day. So you got to be able to step away from it when you can. MLGO just reopened, and that would have been, you didn't get a fill, but if you got that whole price, it's a pretty clean fail break. I think the next trade would be looking for $15 to hold. That was a key level on the daily, so if it holds 15, I think you can still be looking for longs, but it's got to be back at that price. So there's the daily chart. That's $15 from before. So if it pulls back into 15, I think that's a significant level on MLGO. That stock is absolutely insane. just continues to run more and more and more. Mara, as Adair was mentioning, it does the over-under at 19, heading and tracking for that $20 level. When you look left, these ones want to go right. I guess all charts go right, but this time to the upside. So Tesla the long, AMD, I don't know if I want to reload it. I think I'll look for something like, I want lower highs on AMD before I think about going into the short. It's at the right level. But one of the things that we talk about, and oh, good luck. Everyone check out the Freedom and Wealth podcast, and I'm going to work this actually right in because it was something you guys mentioned about avoiding distraction, right? And that's in life, but in trading, I think a lot of times you have an idea of a stock that you want to trade. I can get distracted by the fact that I just want to be back into AMD and just start, instead of looking for the right setup, just look for setups on advanced micro devices. That's not the way to go about it. Tesla was trending, so we wanted to get over to that one above a support level. It's at that price. That's where the focus has to be. AMD's not doing what I want right now. So I can have it up on a chart, but I don't want to be sitting there staring too much at it until it actually starts to set up for me. AMD, we'll still be green on it, but only barely because we gave some back. And last time we didn't get any profit on that third short. So MLGO, okay, it's not exactly flushing just yet, but give it some time. If it's not breaking 20, I think it's pulling back to 15.
Yeah, MLGO, violent name, but I mean a great one for the longs. I mean, people have been really riding that one for a minute for sure. Okay, like we just, and to that point, trying to trade a few less names. We talked about our positioning and what we have on and things like that. So Apple just came back up to VWAP, so you got to stay disciplined and stay into your rules. So we just take another piece out there for Apple. Apple's going to be my numero uno stock right there as we go. So tongue twisted up there. All right, so we'll get some more bids here on NVIDIA as we take the short back in for this name. This time we actually did a little bit better and waited for that 122 to come in for that. So now we'll wait to see if we can get some more lower bids on NVIDIA as now we have 10s short. Again, like, look, taking it out, but will it blast up against us again? This is the scalper's nightmare because it keeps on running your levels, and then you don't, that last little piece that you always hold on for, at least I do, and it's not even little because I'm trying to hold on to more, keeps running me out of town. So hopefully NVIDIA can keep coming to the downside, and we'll be able to get out of more and more of these shares without too much worry as here it comes. Okay, we'll take that 76 all day, every day right now. So, all right, nice little dip buy opportunities here for NVIDIA if you're looking to go long. We just have a decent pullback in now for NVDA. So here we go, back into 121.70s, 60s. Come on, give me it. We're at 68 right now. It's 50 cents in the money right now for NVIDIA, but it is holding out a little bit. Let's punch some more 72s and then get a little bit lower here for NVDA. So there it goes. Yes, give me those 68s. Oh, did we get them? I do not know. No, we did not. All right, we'll wait for 68 and then we'll cancel all the bills bills. Sorry about that, Neil. All of the bids after that one.
We're not canceling any bills.
No, we're not canceling any bills. I wish I could get all the bills canceled, actually, not the Buffalo Bills, but all the other bills.
Well, that would,
yeah, that would be nice if that would come through. Yeah, that'd be nice. Like all of a sudden, you have no more bills, but that's what we're trying to do with trading, trying to make enough money that bills. Can you pay my bills? Those damn telephone bills.
And those
automotive bills.
No, literally the line is automobiles. It's one of the dumbest lines.
Yeah, that is a really dumb line.
That's what MLGO's coming down to that 15. Just want to quickly elaborate on the idea there. Tesla, if we get high of the day, I'm taking it out. So 1580 was the halt price. 15 even just happens to be where VWAP is. So I like halt levels for dips as well. So a bounce off of this can also work. And again, you have to be willing to adjust. Like I was looking at VWAP and 15 as an even level, and I forgot all about the fact that it halted at 1580. So a bounce off the halt price is just as valid for me. Once it gets down to about 16 even, I'll look for a bounce, try to jump into the long, give it to the halt level, which was $15.80. That'll be like a 75 stop, and that would be the bounce play for MLGO. As I said, Tesla, if it gets to the high of the day, the NASDAQ is pulling back, I'd take profit because it's 187. And that has been a level on Tesla. It's about 30 cents away from a fill, but if you're looking for an MLGO trade, the level 2 you should be on is MLGO.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing. If you're trading those kind of names, you definitely want to be looking in that area so that you can see all of the movements on that. So More outs there on NVIDIA. Oh, we already talked about taking some outs on Palantir. Upside, let's check out CCL, Carnival Cruise. Again, it's a positive name for us, but because it was right away, we don't have, I even have I had less shares on this one. Well, I'm not sure, but similar shares on this than I'm trading with NVIDIA. So it's not like NVIDIA is 10 times the price, or not that much, but 8 times. Anyways, as you go back up to the upside there for Carnival, nice dip buys into 16s. I mean, now it's over with. The earnings are out. It's up 5%. They beat everywhere. I'm not sure exactly what was on the call, but it's going to be over close to now, or I don't know, not too volatile and not too much volume. So I think you can sort of probably respect the 17 bid now. You're well up, so let's wait to see if it can come back in.
Oh no.
17 and change there. We did get that NVIDIA bid at 68, so that's turning out to be real good right there. The last one pays out, right? And so again, I'm red on it now. I don't want to, I always say to everybody around here, let's be, not to myself, and I've already posted this up, and it was actually, if you want to go read something, it actually has quite a bit of views on this post, and that was right here. It has over 113,000 views right now, and it's just talking about how no more FOMO, just positive vibes. No more I'll only be happy if this goes $1 in the money. It's it has nothing to do with anything. So just stay focused and focus on what matters, right? And I mean, at the end of the day, we want to put up winning trades and we want to put forward good ideas. And if they work out great, we'll try to celebrate them like we're doing right now by face slapping ourselves up for NVIDIA, which is now finally 75 cents in the money and going lower right now. So there it goes right here. We could be back into this trade soon with more shares, but for right now, we're going to wait to see if we can get a downside push here for NVIDIA. Take some out there at 121.50 on that flush. So again, all these little hits, remember, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right now, we're making a little bit back. We will be red on it, but so far, so good on that backwards play. And Disney's just hovering around 102 right now. We still have 30% of that. Should have got out at the 50 period. So you want to talk about Tesla quickly? I know we have.
Before we go to Sector Watch, I did get tagged on Tesla. I got up to 186.85 and then pulled right back. So we did get out very, very quickly there. I still feel like the next trade is going to be like this little consolidation that you have in MLGO off of the previous haul price. I think this is a spot, and it's about to test 16. So if it holds at 16 on this dip, which is currently happening, I'm gonna look to punch long on the way back up, stop at just underneath that haul price as mentioned. It is 10:40. Time to see what sectors are strong along with the NASDAQ, let's just say, because we like strong over weak.
Honestly, not really many sectors here with outstanding strength. The one exception might be technology services. A few stronger names in here. Meta up more than 2%. Google up 1.5%. Adobe and CRM pretty strong here as well. But other than that, things are going to be a little bit more mixed. Technology, electronic technology, not bad here either. We do have some weakness here in Broadcom, A&D, and a few of these other chip names. Lots of weakness in finance, but we get a little bit more mixture. Producer manufacturing, health technology, Eli Lilly to the upside after that OpenAI collaboration for using generative AI for some treatments there. Consumer services pretty mixed. Process industry is pretty mixed. Health services and utilities a little bit weaker across the board. Retail trade, we have Amazon upside, but notable weakness here in Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart. We did get some housing price index data early today coming in a little bit lower than expected on a month-over-month basis. And then we also have to talk about the transportation sector. Uber, the one strong name here, getting a slight price target increase from Piper Sandler. But FedEx here, FDX, absolutely on watch ahead of its earnings tonight, guys.
I forgot about FDX.
That's right, FedEx. After the bell, you'll be able to catch that on the market recap show tonight. So FedEx, more of a bellwether stock than a trading stock. But that doesn't mean we don't pay close attention to it. Can be a bit of a market mover. So as I said, it was a 90% chance that MLGO was going to be the next trade. It bounced off 16, or that halt price at 1580. It wants nothing with the 70s, so I can sit and want the 3/4 all I want. If it's not going to give it to me, then you just got to be able to take what you can get on the initial bounce. So I thought the initial bounce would get to 17. I'm going to scalp out at 1-to-1 and then hold for the next. The next level up is the halt price down. That was like $18.90 something cents. So if it breaks 17 trail, if it breaks 18 trail, if it gets to the previous halt price out, that's the play on MLGO. Just going back over to Tesla, if the market's going to continue to be strong, the NASDAQ's pulling back in and holding some of those highs. I would like back into Tesla. It just wicked the same level we were in before, but it's a little sloppy in here. And it wasn't an easy consolidation. We had to get out and then kind of get